How to share?
A very warm good morning to all of you. So I welcome our esteemed guest, Mr. Ashok Benson, our principal, Professor Dr. M.M. Murthy, Dean R&D, Dr. Gole, Dean Academics, Anupa Sabnis Madam, HOD Electrical Department, Sangeeta Dandai Madam, and uh, HOD Mechanical Department, Dr. Maurya, my dear colleagues, delegates from academia and industry. So I welcome you all for this 1 week long FDP on green energy challenges and mitigation strategies. So I request our principal, Dr. Muldi, to honor our chief guest by handing over a bouquet. So we as a nation are committed to decarbonize our environment and our electrical grid. So we have set very ambitious target to increase the share of renewable to 1730 gigawatts by 2050, where the 51% of the share will be coming from the solar and 12% from the wind. So all these persistent efforts will help us to arrest the climatic changes and to hopefully help our Mother Earth to heal. So I request my distinguished dignitaries on the dais to pay tribute to the Mother Earth by offering water to the planet. Thank you. So I now request the coordinator of FTP, Dr. Swati Lawal, to come on dais and brief us about the objective and the outcome of this FTP. Hello. Very warm good morning to all of you. Uh, I'm really overwhelmed by seeing such a wonderful response for our FDP because, as you know, participation is the most crucial thing and activity in any FDP. So I really thank you so much. Uh, so I can see many familiar faces here and almost representative from almost all colleges wherever we have electrical department. So there are faculties from BJTI, LT College, SFIT and so many other colleges. Thank you so much. So let me take the opportunity to mention that more than 3,000 eligible applications AICT from which AICT had shortlisted 395 and ours is one of it. That is and secondly, from electrical field, there were 200 applications, and out of which they have shortlisted 25 only, and ours is one of it. So, and it's actually displayed on the AICT website also. So now if you look at the schedule which we have shared the schedule also and the brochure everything. So the design of the course is where our the basic principles we are following, right? It's saying green energy challenges and mitigation. So starting from, you can see basics of power electronics. The second session, today's second session is on basic power electronics. Then second session is on EV trail, electric vehicle. We are going to address the design challenges, and then starting from the grid challenges. The first challenge is of course protection philosophies, how they are going to change. So that is going to be addressed tomorrow evening. That's very important. And then the next session, if you see the fifth session, that is on your renewable capacity planning and integrated resource planning. So that is another challenging area from planning perspective. That is what we are addressing. And then of course, role of real-time simulator in renewable integration. So here you will get the exposure to real-time simulator, which is open source available for the users. Okay, so we will get hands-on also on that same thing. And then the seventh session is very important. Another aspect, that is our renewable to grid integration challenges and mitigation. That is by Dr. A.M. Kulkarni sir. So this is where the main critical thing of integration and challenges from system operators point of view. They are going to address where we will be discussing the physics as well as mathematical modeling, how the modeling is going to be changed, right, in the analysis. And of course, the next session, ninth session is the practical, from the practical aspect of the same problem, where we are going to have interface with WRLDC expert. Okay, he will be discussing on real-time challenges, what they are actually facing in Western load dispatch center. Okay, and also we will be having one industrial visit to the same place, which is very important visit, because we will be having the exposure for a control center itself and all the operation we are going to observe with the renewable integration. And one more aspect which is important, that is portfolio of renewable, or you can say renewable energy forecasting. That is also another area of research where there is a lot of scope. Those who are planning for PhD and any further research. If you look at the entire plan, lot many research problems we are trying to address. Okay, that is our main objective. And of course, if you see the first session, that is on green energy consumers perspective, and the last session, ninth session, is green energy from system operators perspective. So we are in the sense, starting from our journey from consumers point towards up to system operator. So almost all issues we are trying to address here, and I assure you that this journey will be really, really wonderful. Okay, so that is about the schedule. Now regarding the lab sessions, of course we will have some hands-on on open source softwares. We are mainly emphasizing on open source facilities. Okay, so there is OpenTSS software where you will get hands-on training for 2 days. We will also have some laboratory experiments for 2 days, and one there will be real-time simulator, and another for the especially for the renewable forecasting. There is special dedicated software which is again open source software, and we will try to give exposure to all these things. Then also there is another uh, uh, section, important section, that is on paper reviews. Okay, I shared some papers with you 2 days back. I mean, I guess on Friday evening, Saturday. These papers are. It is expected that you just go through these papers, and whatever your perception about it, it is what is expected, and it is part of continuous education analysis. So basically, we have to now for last few decades, the FDPs are more or less coming like holiday packages. So we have to that's why we have to give respect to this particular expectation from AICT, and there will be a continuous evaluation, and there will be a quiz at the end, as well as a feedback to be filled by everyone. And then at the end of DP program, there will be certificates issued online to every participant. So that is how the procedure is. And all these activities are in a way mandatory. And there is a support obviously from organizing committee for all these activities that you should not worry about. Right. And as far as hospitality and logistics is concerned, we will try our level best so that your enthusiasm will be maintained. That I assure you. And one thing, I would also like to bring to your notice that we are trying not to conduct MDP in a conventional way. If you see our inauguration ceremony itself was a little different from traditional ways. So the bags which are given to you that are also made by the recycled material and which are made up of cloth. And I would also like to mention that the NGO which is making that bags that is already given, the brochure is already there in the bag, so you can refer. And one more thing is the brand ambassador for these bags is nobody but Srimati Medha Bhattarji. So that is how the contribution is. And also, and one more request: we are not going to provide plastic bottles to you. Okay, so please sorry for that. We will provide water, of course, that is there available, right? And since we talk a lot about green energy, this is a just attempt to actually change our day-to-day practices. So thank you and just enjoy the 6 days. Thank you very much. Thank you, Swati ma'am, for briefing us about the FDP and its schedules. Now I request our HOD, Dr. Sangeeta Madhav, to come and say a few words.
Very good morning to all of you. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Ashok Pedse, Principal Sir, Dr. Alan Modi, Dean Academics, Dr. Arupa Samnes, Dean R&D, Dr. Kule, HOD Mechanical, Dr. Maurya, coordinators of this course, Dr. Swati Lavan and DB Viple Sir, and delegates from academic institutes and industry, and my dear friends. So today we are here to inaugurate this first session of this course. The course is on green energy, challenges and mitigation strategies. So as the name suggests, it is about green energy, and instead of inaugurating this session traditionally, if you have observed, we have changed a little, that is towards green energy. So instead of lighting a lamp, we have started with watering a plant. So that is, we are taking care of Mother Earth. So that was the symbol of that. So thank you coordinators for this new idea. And there is one verse in Marathi by Sant Namdev, that is जे करती वृक्षांची सेवा सर्व काळ तयावरी शास्त्रांची झल्लाळ. So that is about, if you take care of nature, nature will reveal lot many things to us, and this is an attempt towards this. And definitely this course will help all you to enlighten about this green energy and different strategies. You will learn lot many. Even I am participant, so I will be also learning lot many things from this course. So once again, I congratulate the coordinators and the participants, and that is, I ensure that your stay will be comfortable here. So wish you all the best. Even the coordinators, I wish you all the best for the successful execution of this course.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Principal Sir, Dr. Alan Modi, to come and say a few words.
Good morning to all of you. Today's keynote speaker, Mr. Ashok Pedse, Dean Academic, Dr. Arupa Samnes, Dean R&D, Dr. Kiran Mole, Professor faculty colleagues from electrical department, delegates from various engineering colleges and industries. A very warm welcome to all of you for this Atal FDP. I would like to brief about our institute. Ours is a government-aided autonomous institute. It started in the year 1962 by Tirupati M. Mussiji with three core branches in civil electrical mechanical engineering. At present, the institute offers the same PhD programs electrical, civil and mechanical engineering. There are currently the institute offers three core branches in civil electrical and mechanical engineering, and five PG programs, two in civil engineering, that is namely construction management and structural engineering, two PG program in mechanical engineering, that is machine design and thermal engineering, and one PG program in electrical engineering, power system and power electronics. Also, institute offer PG program in and civil electrical and mechanical engineering in all the three disciplines. The institute got autonomy since 2010 11, extended up to 2025-2026. Okay, I just speak. I hope we can. I am audible. Yes. The institute got autonomous status since 2010-11, and it is permanently affiliated to University of Mumbai. The institute participated in World Bank project, that is Technical Quality Education Improvement Program (EEQRP). So in phase 2 and phase 3, under which the institute under DG 2, the institute received funding from the World Bank, the tune of 12 crores, and in DG 3, the institute received the funding of 7 crores. With all this funding, the institute has developed a lot of facilities and infrastructure in the institute. All the stakeholders, that is faculty members, non-teaching staff and students were benefited from this fund. Our labs have been modernized and new labs have also been set up. I am glad that Electrical Engineering Department has organized this one-week FDP on green energy challenges and mitigation strategies. This FDP has been sponsored by AICT under AICT Training and Learning, that is Atal scheme. As Swati Madam told you that our institute has got selected competitively, among other various institutes. This every year we organize this Atal FDPs. This year we are going to organize three FDPs. This is the first one. Thanks to our Dean R&D, Dr. Kiran Bhai, who is constantly putting his effort to improve the R&D of our institute. Since recently we have received research funding to the tune of 4 crores from ESD, Government of India. Green energy is the need of power and is very much relevant. Considering the current situation, that is global warming, consumption of fossil fuel and all, the major issues need to be addressed on urgent basis. So green energy is one of these solutions. I thank the coordinator, Dr. Swati and Dr. Pimple and entire organizing team for organizing this activity. I am sure that all of you will benefited by this 5 days FDP and will leave with a sweet memory from SPC. I wish the FDP grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we are very happy to have Mr. Ashok Panse as our chief guest. Mr. Panse has done B.Tech Mechanical from IIT Bombay in 1972. He owned a manufacturing industry with almost 500 employees, which he ran for almost 30 years. Since 1999, he has been active as consumer representative for the Maharashtra for the Since 1999, Mr. Panzer has been acting as a consumer representative for the Maharashtra Electricity Regulatory Commission. He has an official consumer representative representation for more than 1,000 cases in MERC. He has worked with Karnataka, Delhi, Rajasthan State Regulatory Commission on the similar lines. In addition to this, he has been writing articles in various newspapers with the only objective of bringing awareness in the consumer of the electricity regarding the changes in the electricity market. He has been interviewed by many newspapers like DNA, Times of India, Hindustan Times, Indian Express in various incidences related to electricity wherein as an expert's opinion is required who can spill the fact. So without wasting much time, I request Dr. Panse to come and say a few words.
Good morning to all.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir. Thanks to Professor Ruby, Swati Madam, head of the department, and all the heads of the department of various mechanical and other faculty. Uh, rather than rather than making a monologue, let's try to have a dialogue. Why I'm trying to do this is I'm trying, your entire program is packed with all the technicalities of renewable energy. I am trying to take you to the whole journey, which is renewable energy is part of that journey. So that's why at the end of it, whatever questions you are, or in between you also need, please ask me, because I do not want to be a monologue. Coming, yeah. Um, let's look at, I'm looking at the renewable energy as part of the whole structure. Ultimately, let's go to the basic part of it. See, for the human beings, what are the basic necessities? Basic necessities are in Marathi called as Anna Vastra Nivara, and other part of it is Roti Kapda Makan. We have in the last about 4 5 decades or so added one more part of it, and that is electricity. Electricity has become necessary for us as far as these normal human beings living on this earth are concerned. So ultimately, for who we are doing it for the society in large. Try to realize that part of it. When we are going to the society at large, then the crux of it is the center of electricity is ultimately that last mile consumer of electricity. And do we have to satisfy a large consumer? Yes. I'll give a simple example of Maharashtra. I hope that majority of it is Maharashtra, because I do not want to take it to the other state. Let's look at our one basic state electricity board. It used to be called as MSCP, now it is called as LCD. What is the consumer base? 2 crore 40 lakh. Let's come to Mumbai. So now in Mumbai, what is happening? Roughly Adani, which is 28 lakh, BSP 10 lakhs, and Tata 8 lakhs. Add all together, it comes to 45 lakhs. Take it to 50 lakhs. So 2 crore 40 plus 50 is 2.9 crore. That is, you are to satisfy 3 crore consumers of Maharashtra. Now, while doing this, there are why I am trying to take you to the basic part of it is in this trying to take them to that, they're using that electricity to that. How do you go? Generation, inform energy, inform energy, renewable energy, foreign energy, and we'll go into that into details in the second part. Foreign energy. What is foreign energy? Coal, gas, nuclear, etc. After generation, then you will go to transmission. Then you will go to distribution. And at the end of it, after the whole of the circle is completed, then you will give that consumer the electricity. The crux of it is, then we have to ask that consumer, what does he want? Is he wanting, is he saying, I want renewable? Is he saying that I don't want thermal? Is he saying I want a gas based? Is he saying should be from the municipal solid waste? He's not talking about it. He understands only one simple thing, बटन दबाया बिजली आ गई है, बाकी उसको कुछ समझता नहीं, कुछ समझता नहीं. We, why I am trying to explain all this thing is, as you very well know, it is almost 51 years back I graduated. Last 25 years I am in the electricity sector, right from the end to today. When I came to the field, at that moment of time, I came with a gusto, saying that we belong to engineering, we have done it from the top institute, we will see to it that the society is benefited. We went little down, I realized, no, technology is not sufficient. There is somebody called as human being, a social aspect to that. We started getting into that. So I began working in rural areas, urban areas, changing cities, changing states. Then in the third stage, what has happened, the impact in terms of the rupee and paisa is very large. I'll give a simple example. Let's consider one Supreme Court judgment which said that bringing, there was one coal policy, and because of that coal policy, there was a change in the tariff structure. There was a change in the tax structure. So all the generators went to Supreme Court. After they went to the Supreme Court gave a direction, and so then came the question that once that Supreme Court gave a direction, when the Supreme Court gave a direction, there was an impact of Adani, Reliance, everybody raising their prices because of that law. What was the impact? The impact of, in respect of Adani itself, was something like 4,200 crores. So for you and me, the price rise was 50 or 60 paisa. So then we went into the third area, and the third area was law. So in the electricity sector, talking ourselves and we will be in a position to make this society happy via technology is not sufficient. We must know the social structure, also the law. Nowadays, people ask me, sir, are you a lawyer? I tell them, since all of you are lawyers, I tell them, no, no, I'm an engineer and मुझे काला कौवा नहीं बनने का है, मैं जितना engineer हूँ वही ठीक है. But it's a fact that right from bottom to Supreme Court, you have to keep on fighting the case for 4 5 years. Why I'm trying to tell you is, let's go to, having said his impact for the consumer, it is for us to solve those questions. Now let us go to the consumer. What does consumer want? Two things. 24 by 7 supply. All 24 hours, 7 days of supply. Second, affordable tariff. I'm not so much bothered whether it comes, because for me, let's say, I'm not talking, let's say somebody working in your canteen, you ask him, can he understand whether it is coming from solar? Does he understand whether it is coming from thermal? Because the electricity doesn't understand. He's saying something parvartan. This is all what he said. So what his two needs are, one, 24 by 7 supply, and the second part of it is the affordability, the cost. Okay. In addition to that, for the purposes of enrollment, we have two more goals. 5,000 gigawatt by 2030 and 2070 net zero. So now you have got three goals to satisfy. See, the two goals which are for the consumer sector and one goal which is coming from the international lending and things like that. Now let us go to these three issues. Let's look at the first issue. Does it really, where are we? Let's look at simple. Let's look at in 20 and 21, the 2 years were a total washout. Obviously, because of the COVID. The demand collapsed and nobody could help. We were not bothered about it because the industry was not there, commerce was not there, other than work from home, nothing was happening. Then came 22. 22, all the activities started going up. Once they started going up, what did happen? The demand started. The moment demand started increasing, it was tough for us to meet that demand. 23 also same period. Look at October, September, October. In case of September, October of 23, just 3 4 months back, you will realize there were 6 states who had to resort to load shedding. Six states, not one. Maharashtra was one of them. We had 3 days of load shedding. Consider UP. UP demand, they at that moment of time was in the range of about 24 25,000 megawatts. Don't go into the figure, I'm trying to give you the feel of it. And they could supply 18,000. So 25% of the UP was in load shed for almost 20 days. That's from you are getting the energy. You get it from anywhere, I don't care. I just don't get it with energy. Right? Did we fulfill the need? The answer is no. Then let us come to the second part of it. Second part of it is the cost. Let's look at our peculiar structure in India, what we have created. What I call it as Robin Hood method. What was, you must have read in your school days, famous story of Robin. What was the Robin Hood principle? Rob the rich, pay the poor. Simple. Rob the rich, pay the poor. We use the same method. Who is rich? Two people. In electricity sector, there are four typically consumers. One, industry, commerce, residents. Then the fourth one is after resident, the others. Like it could be a temple, it could be a crematorium, it could be a hospital, it could be all sorts of things, right? So what are we doing? If we are robbing them, we reach one industry, commerce. With the third one in residential, with anybody using 300 or 500 unit, it depends upon the state. I cannot see one off straight away who is that because it depends on it. But if you are using more than 300, the moment you put air conditioner, it should be on 300 because you will add about 120 in one shot in the village. So what we are doing is we are robbing the rich and pay the poor. So what we are doing is we are giving electricity to residential consumers, the large population of residential consumers, agriculture and other electricity less than average cost of supply. What is the average cost of supply? Average cost of supply consists of two parts. One, power purchase. Two, distribution cost. Roughly, don't go into state by state. This is the national average. Our average cost of power purchase is 5 rupees, which consists of thermal, nuclear, you talk anything and it comes under that, which includes transmission charges also. And 2 rupees is the distribution cost. So anybody getting less than 7 is the subsidized consumer. Where from that subsidy comes? That subsidy comes from industry and commerce on one side, and in addition to that, that is not sufficient. That's why it comes from the government. But governments have no more reach. They don't have. So what they do in the earlier part, they used to keep on increasing the tariff of industry, increase. Questioning, will industry be in a position to survive? The answer is no. Answer is no. And why it is important also you try to keep it in mind. Let's look at 3 states: Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. Out of the total state consumption, almost one third, 30 to 35% of the consumption is from industry. So you get large amount of cross subsidy because rob the rich, because they are benefiting. Rob them. Look at Bihar. What is the industrial consumption? Only 6%. So where from the subsidy comes? Entirely going to be from the government. There is another part. What has happened with renewable energy and industry not affording this tariff? Industry is leaving distribution company generating their own electricity or buying electricity from somebody else. It's a question of maybe 3, 4, 5 years. Our residential tariffs will go up. Then, if the government doesn't have subsidy, what will you do? And you see, though I am talking in this one, you will realize because since I have been working in the field, I have given 2, 3 examples where I will be in a position to understand. Many of you must be knowing there is one company called as Nikamal Plastics. They make plastic furniture and our what should I say, our bucket that we use for our bath day to day. Good number of that comes from the Nikamal. I had a factory in Andheri, the old story, and Nikamal also had a factory in Andheri, MIDC. After some time, the old story, 20 years back, I found that chap is not there. The boss was not there. The rest of the people, but I used to meet the boss. He will be there in the colleague. So I mean, not colleague, friends. I said, "Yaar, तुम है नहीं, कहाँ दिखाई देता है?" He said, "You sir, you don't know." I said, "What do you mean?" I really don't know because I'm seeing you for 1 or 2 years. That's why I'm asking you. So you are shifted to Goa. You shifted to Goa. What for? Why is this is a good factory? Everything is good. The market is there. Why you shifted to Goa? He said, "Sir, at that time, Bombay Suburban Electric Supply, then it became Reliance and then became Adani. So it was Bombay Suburban." He said, "Sir, BACS tariff is 4 rupees." I said, "Then in what about Goa?" He said, "It is 1 rupee 80 paisa." So tariff is half because the input cost for that bucket was half because input cost is universal can see if it is going down, the bucket cost will come down. And this is, I mean, all of you are seniors, but because when I talk about this one, I ask the child, will your mother allow just because you are Bombay, if the same Nikamal plastic bucket made in Bombay is 100 rupees and made in Goa is 50, your mother will say why 50? She is going to say इसमें तो सिर्फ पानी से नहाने वाले और भी कुछ होने वाला है यार, तेरा गोवा का है बॉम्बे का, तो 50 वाली ले ले यार, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Let's take to another example. Uh, you are comparatively not in the school, I mean, what should I say, school bachcha log and college bachcha log category, but you must be using. Uh, Many of the men, or even nowadays the women, they use jeans. The jeans, the basic raw, the basic cloth is denim. And one of the large pioneers in manufacture of denim in urban mix, they used to manufacture that in Ahmedabad. At that time, these are all 20, 15-year old story. They used to manufacture in Ahmedabad. When they used to manufacture in Ahmedabad, at that time the Gujarat electricity board's rate was about 2 rupees 40 paisa, 2 rupees 50 paisa. In the old story, they went to China. You might have heard of one of the largest, and they China come out with another larger than that. So called as three gorgeous lab. It is 8,000 megawatt. 8,000 megawatt. China offered them a tariff of 60 paisa. 60 paisa against 2 rupees 10 paisa. What did they do? They went to China. 30-40% production they started doing in Delhi. So not only the industry gets affected, I will take this is of the Indian this one. Let me take you to the two because you will feel no why I am talking about it. It happens worldwide. Let me give you two specific examples. As you very well know, because of Ukraine, Germany is not getting the cheaper Russian gas. They are not getting the gas only. So what they have to do? See, the gas was coming via pipeline. Then the gas pipe, if the gas doesn't come via pipeline, then you have to go to Ukraine. Sorry, not Ukraine. You have to go to Qatar or United States or Azerbaijan. There, what you have to do is you have to liquefy the gas, take it via ships or tankers, bring it to the shore, regasify, put it in the pipeline, and use it for generating electricity. Germany started doing that, and Germany surviving even the cold weather. Good, fair enough. But what happened? What about the cost? Cost has shot up. Two things have happened. Germany, the powerhouse of Europe, 62 to 65% of the production of German goods is exported. So that means they are surviving because of their exports. You can't afford to have a high cost electricity. They started shouting, in industry shouting at the top of their voice. It's about 2 months back to bring down the cost. Germany has started their, many of you may be knowing or not knowing, bitumen is a low quality coal is called as bitumen. High quality, different, bitumen has the calorific value is less. They have started bitumen-based generation in Germany to reduce the cost because they don't want industry to shut down. Let's take another example. Many of you might have heard of BASF. BASF. BASF is the name of the company and the large chemical giant. They have got 20 plants in Germany. And to give a simple example, you know how much electricity they consume? 12,000 megawatt. Bombay's need is 3,000 megawatt. They consume 12,000 megawatt. 12,000 megawatt, that means 4 times Bombay's need in just BASF. What BASF is doing? BASF is leaving Germany and starting their plant there. China, 60 paisa. 60 paisa. Let's take to UK. UK is also gas based. You may be knowing there is something called as North Sea. They used to have a North Sea based oil and gas. I don't want to go into that politics. Another part of it is what we call it as flogging. I will not go into that part because we will do it. So that gas base is a problem. So they are once again started making across the world. Prices have shot up. And the poor strata of the society is struggling in the winter. They are not putting on their heaters even because they can't afford electricity. It is what we call it as prepaid meter, like our mobile. They can say only 2 pounds are left. Only at night I tell you, they are not in a position to do it. Let's take it to California. Friend, my batchmates are staying. He was telling me just about 8 days back. Same thing in California also. What happened? If he was saying, because the houses are large, the consumptions are also large. Coming to the original part of it, his bill used to be in the range of $110. Yesterday he showed me a bill on our meeting. Look at this. I said, yeah, I can see. Can you read? I said, yeah, I am reading. $280. From 110 they have gone to $280, 3 times. What I am trying to tell you is the tariff that we are giving to the consumer is quite crucial and important aspect of this whole value chain. You cannot run away from that. Second part of it is, let's look at another part. We have been in a developing country and we want to be maybe in 5 years that we want to say ourselves that no, we are not developing, we are a developed country. Let's look at why not aim for that. Let's look at per capita consumption of electricity consumption in India. 1300 units. 1300, mind you, 1300. Let's take it to China. 3900. Let's take it to United States. 16,000. Leave United States. Why can't we aim at least to go to China at least 3,900 in 5 years time? If I have to go from 1300, leave us at 3900, even if I take it to 2600 for all the consumers, this electricity, where from it will come and affordable to them? And am I doing something wrong for a common consumer to say that maybe after 10 years I want to be China, but can I double it? Can I double it? So you will have to give that electricity to him on 24/7 basis and at affordable cost. So this is basically essential, which you cannot lose the track of at all. This is the first part. Now let us go to the second part. To give this energy to people, you have two things. Let me go to now renewable. This is inform. Let's take what is positive and what are the issues. Then firm energy also will be, and we will go to how to mitigate that. Rather than I take the mitigation in between and then take it to last. Let's go to renewable first. What is positive? No pollution. Absolutely. We want to go in that direction. But then, is it firm? The answer is no. I'm not in a position to fulfill that 24 by 7 on that. Second, cost. Now, let us try to analyze these on the 5 different parameters that we have. In renewable, we will take those two at the end: solar, wind, hydro, then biofuel, and lastly municipal solid waste. Let's start with municipal solid waste. If you look at entire renewable energy portfolio, it is in the range of about 2 lakh, 200,000, 2 lakh. How much is municipal solid waste? 378. It's nowhere. We have given up that. In Maharashtra, we had 3: Pimpri Chinchwad, Nagpur, and Mumbai. We failed miserably. And I'm not the government, so I don't mind accepting that we failed. We failed. Why we have failed? One part of it is go to states, Germany, Japan. The isolation of solid waste is done in a very methodical fashion. What do they do? You have biological waste, then you have what? Packing material, cartons, plastics, etc. Then the third part of it is glass, and the fourth part of it is aluminium cans. They segregate that. As far as we are concerned, for us there is only one data. Everything in that. Class situation is because of that, ultimately in the fuel that we are feeding, what matters is the calorific value. Will we be in a position to achieve that? The answer is no. Because we have got, it's not burning. It's not burning. Will glass burn along with some food waste? The answer is no. One part. Secondly, in area like Mumbai, we have got lots of rain. So that's why the municipal solid waste, if calorific value is 1, with water, I need instead of 1 kilogram, 3 to 4 kilograms. If I need from 1 to 4 kilograms, try to realize one part. I need more space to store. I need a feeder, which we have the conveyors, because you will need 4 kilograms to carry. Then, in addition to that, what about the waste disposal? After that, it is burned, let's say it is ash, so you will need 4 times that. And that's why we have failed. And the last part of it is the cost was coming to almost 7, 8, 9. Then my solar is 250, why the hell I should buy from it? Last situation is we were telling municipal corporation, say it's the responsibility of the municipal corporation, which we told them it is your responsibility. They also realize because there is no provision in the law that we must buy that. We will help them, but it is not our responsibility, it is their responsibility. उनको खुद को 8 रुपए वाली परवड़ती नहीं है. So municipal solid waste has gone. Then let's come to the second part, biofuel. In biofuel, as you very well know, one of the thing is, all of you know, in Punjab we burn. So sir, there is a problem because there is a pollution in Delhi. We cannot breathe. All that sort of thing you keep on doing. Point is, who will bring that husk from there to my factory? What are the transport costs? So what is happening? This portfolio is in the range of about 10 to 11,000, but from that 10 to 11,000, almost 7,000 is bagasse. Mind you, it is bagasse. Bagasse is nothing but sugar factories, and the best part of it is Uttar Pradesh, followed by Maharashtra, followed by Karnataka. It's I do not want to make this sort of comment on a public platform, but entire sugar is controlled by only politicians. They decide the rate and they make us buy that. That's why our tariffs are going up. And we have no choice about it. We are not, and all of them are not only politicians, but they are the government. They are the government. Whether here, there, or that state, they are the government. So we have to buy that. But it is even then there is another problem of this area is there is something called as crushing season. The crushing season is not 12 months. Crushing season is normally 6-7 months. Depends upon how much is the crop. There is something called as zoning policy. I am trying to take you to different area. If you are aware, please stop me because I go into on occasions like a Marathi serial. Heroine छोड़ के मामा ही बीच में आ जाता है. So please bring me back. I'm not going to the zoning, but you cannot buy from Karnataka, or you cannot buy Satara, you cannot buy from Nagar or things like that. We're not going to that. So the tariff for that gas is almost 758 rupees. It is also not high. Then let's come to the third part, hydro. Some of our forefathers were really visionary. Look at Maharashtra, Koyana, 2200 megawatt of hydro. 2200. Nobody, leave aside, Bhakra Nangal and that one. But look at Koyana, which came in 1964. It is our visionary forefathers who created Koyana. But there is a problem in hydro. What are the problems in hydro? The problems of the hydro are the dams have been created not for only electricity, it is for use of water. So what happens is if I want electricity, can I keep on releasing water? The answer is no, because this water will go to Karnataka. There is a water sharing activity. So you just can't keep on releasing water when I want. There is a restriction on amount of water that can be released. And the reason is very simple, that it is shared by states. So, there is a quota that you can release so much in this month, so much in this month, so much in this month. except for obviously monsoon, because when the dam is full, you have to release the whole of the water. So there is a restriction on hydro. Another part of it is hydro has another part, the large dams I'm talking about. What happens is you have a dam, and before dam you have to store water, and after that via canals or something you have to take water out. What happens is before dam the entire geographical area is submerged in water, and since it is submerged in water, you have to look at rehabilitation of people. It is not that they have lost the land, it is not that they have lost their residential place. Even if I give them money, in the future, how they will live? So, rehabilitation is a major issue, quite a major issue. To give, because of this, you might have heard of Sardar Sarovar Dam, which was in Gujarat, and we get 800 megawatt from Sardar Sarovar. You know the number of years it required for completion of Sardar Sarovar? 17 years, 17 years. Will you be in a position to say to somebody to give 17 साल के बाद में बिजली आएगी? No sir, no sir, no chance, no chance. You cannot give this answer. Okay. So rehabilitation is one issue. Another issue what has happened, people do not, it has occurred over a period of time. I myself know, because my grandfather, some land was purchased by Koina affected people years back. That must be 68, 70 years. So when I was school going at that time. But from the Koina affected, in some people, even after 40 years, government has not paid. So there is a question of trust deficit. Trust deficit. It is trust deficit that people just don't believe that government will, even after saying they do it. There is a, taking it to a lighter way. It's the famous saying that India's relationship with Pakistan is based on trust and faith. We have no faith in them and they have no trust in us. Same thing is with the government with respect to the project affected. So it becomes a problem. Not only that, without doing geological study, in Uttarakhand, you might be knowing on that particular, I'm not going into this was part of it. They were trying to build 14 dams down the street. Rest for the history, whatever happened in Uttarakhand, I'm not going into that. So there are lot of issues in hydro, and the reason is trust deficit, not having enough geological study. Lastly, one part of it is, what government or maybe institutes say, potential. Yeah, I have a potential to fly Boeing 777, but at the age of 73, will I fly? Potential hai, but that has no meaning. The potential has no meaning. Will it happen? The answer is no. Answer is no. But in spite of that, hydro is about 50,000 megawatts. It's reasonably done. Positive part of hydro is there is no fuel cost. It is cheap. In Koina, it is one of the cheapest. It is 60 paisa. So there was a time. Now this equation is changing. Sharad Pawar has said the entire Koina should be given to only agriculture at 60 paisa. बाकी लोग तो उनका क्या करेगा पता नहीं मुझे. So cheapest, everybody want that cheapest one. It's not possible. It's just not possible. Okay. So now having tackled three, let's come to solar and wind. Now we will try to go into the solar first. You look at, there is one of them is load dispatch center. It's coming one of these days. Across station, virtually every state has a load dispatch center, and that is nothing but a traffic police. तुम जनरेटर बढ़ाओ, स्टेशन नीचे करो, ज्यादा जा रहा है तो लोड शेड करो. This is the traffic police. It is the traffic police of the electricity, and every state has a load dispatch center. In load dispatch center on their website, majority of them, you will find their profile for last 1 month, maybe instantaneously, how solar has come, at what time, how many megawatts, etc. If you go to msndca.in, you will get that. Look at that profile. In that profile, what you will find at 9 o'clock, let's say that the capacity is 100. Then 9 to 10, it is 25% of the capacity. 10 to 11, 50%. 11 to 3 for 4 hours, it is 100%. And once again, in the same fashion, by 5 o'clock is over. So, for out of 24 hours, 8 hours you are getting solar. One part. Then there is the second part to that. What efficiency, our term in this group, people might be knowing about it, what we call it as capacity utilization factor, CUF, CFP call it. CUF of India in all our tenders and majority of our projects is about 22%. Roughly it used to be 16, 18, we are taken to 22%. So that means 22% of the capacity you will be in a position to give that energy. There is the second part to that. What is the second part to that? What has happened? China is moving ahead and doing research in a really phenomenal way. About 2 months back, Yang and JA, I think there are two people, one of the two largest manufacturers over there. They have come out with panels which are giving 28%, 6%. Those panels are still not available in the market, but they will be they have started the booking and they start. But the percentage point from 22 to 28 is a reasonably large jump. So we will have to gear up for that because we will require lesser space. As simple as that. Or if you are using the same space, we will generate more electricity. There is nothing great about it. Let's look at capacity wise. We are somewhere around February or March 24. We will touch 60 gigawatts. 60. That means 60,000 megawatt of electricity capacity of the, the earlier stages. Before panel there are two, and then you come to the panel. We are basically making majority of the time panel, not the wafers and cells. We are not in the wafer and cell category still. About 1 month back, Adani had announced that they have started making cell and wafers both, and still it is not to the full scale whereby they will be in a position to offer. So let's come back to the original part of it. So majority of it is still imported. As far as the China is concerned, against our 60, their capacity is 400. 400. You can imagine 7, 8 times. Okay. So they are in a position to kill the market. What has happened is government has taken very good step that is called as production linked incentive, and about 4 5 people are there. Renew, Adani, Ambani are there. There are Vikram. There are 4 5 people who have started that. It will take some time. Problem is what is happening is up to 2024 December there is no anti-dumping duty. And since there is no anti-dumping duty, this is one aspect. There is another aspect to that. What is the other aspect? Other aspect to that is United States is trying to take a panga with China. That's why what they have done, China, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, I think Laos, and one more country I have lost, Indonesia maybe. From these 6 countries, they will not import any solar equipment. Any solar equipment they will not import. So what has happened? So Lensale was German, they have closed down. So they are coming up. So the entire Indian manufacturers are doing 100% export of their material to United States. One reason being, though we are on 20 to 24%, another part you must keep it in mind, our prices are between 10 to 15 percentage point higher than China. So we are in a position to sell it to the United States, not because we are competitive, because United States has banned the exports from China. So we are doing it. By 2024, we will see what happens over there because our capacity will come. So what is happening is we are exporting whatever we are making in solar, but up to 2024 there is no anti-dumping. See, ultimately solar panel is not the end of the story. You take solar panel, create a solar park, generate electricity, and sell it to the distribution company. These are the aggregators, and they are very large. See, solar panel is not the end of the story. The end of the story is generated electricity being purchased by the distribution company is the end of the story. There are large number of people in this area. So what we are doing, because of the cost competitiveness, all of them are importing the equipment from the China up to 2024, because from there onwards anti-dumping duty will come and we will not be in a position to compete. So what is the ratio? If we are making one in India, our imports are 6. So in spite of production linked incentive and we not being competitive, this is the scene on which we will have to overcome over a period of time, because size makes a difference. Size makes a difference. I take you little away. I don't remember, but must be about 2012, 13 also. Most of you know a company called as Larsen. Larsen, many of you must be knowing. You know, in the agriculture, we have got agricultural farms and we have got direct online startups, and they come from Larsen. Larsen are the largest, one of the largest in India. And I was part of that since I was in the manufacturing, because we good amount of components to them. So that's why we use the statistics, because every month we have to have the schedule. They used to manufacture those kinds about this is 12, 13, almost 10 years back. They used to manufacture 40,000 contactors per month. 40,000 contactors per month. I had gone to China. Visiting them. I had gone to China 2-3 days. When I had gone to China, I was there. That chap said, "Sir, do you want to see our factory?" I said, "Yeah." "How far is it?" He says, "5, 600." I said, "Okay, but you need to take me and bring me." He said, "That's not a problem." So he took me. I was aghast in seeing their factory. It must be at least 1 kilometer long. I was aghast. I said, "You seem to be making this direct online startup. How many you make?" He said, "Sir, no, 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 we don't talk about our figures, but we are not the first, we are the second or third largest. That's why I'm little ashamed to say." I said, "Doesn't matter, you tell me your figure." I was alive. When Larsen was hoping that they are the great, at 40,000, you are making 6 lakhs per month. This is the scale of the sun. This is the scale. That's why the prices come down. Prices come down because of that. Okay. Having said that, so we have to deal with 24/7. We will have to deal with the equipment. Now let us go to the third part. What is the third part? The third part of it is 1 megawatt requires 4 acres of land. 4 acres of land is required for 1 megawatt of electricity in solar. Consider a fertile land. Let's consider, I'm taking you to the last. Consider a fertile land in say Uttar Pradesh. It's a fertile land because of the Ganges. The land cost varies from 6 almost in some cases 30, 40 lakh to almost 60, 70 lakh per acre. You just can't afford 30 lakh, 40 lakh per acre. You just can't afford. So then what is the way out? You must have infertile land. It should not be fertile at all, and it should be cheap. So where it is basically Kutch, because it's all sand. So we have got Kutch, and we have got near Jodhpur, near our Pakistan border, etc., where the land is available for about 5,000, 6,000 rupees an acre. But then there are other problems. So now what you will start doing, you will start generating all electricity only in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Something like that is happening even in our field today. Consider 4, 5 states. Karnataka took lead about 7 8 years back. They had infertile land, and that's why there is what as Pavagada. This is Karnataka, but they make at one shot about 900 numbers, huge electricity from solar power. But if you consider Rajasthan tops, followed by Gujarat, followed by Karnataka, followed by Andhra Pradesh, then Maharashtra, and little bit of Madhya Pradesh. If you take these 5 6 states, they constitute 93% of the solar generated in India. You go to namesake, you go to Telangana, don't know. गोवा पता नहीं, उत्तर प्रदेश है सोलर. So this has fallen on only these 4 5 states to generate this solar. Then there is another problem to that. That also you must keep it in mind. Let's take typically Rajasthan. What happens in Rajasthan? Let's consider Rajasthan's uh, plant of Adani, 4,000 megawatt, 4,000 megawatt. Good. It's in Jodhpur. Good. Let's generate. Point is, how will you evacuate? You have the ability to evacuate from there and connect it to your national grid. That means when you do that, say maybe 800 kilometers of that transmission line will be loaded for 8 hours. And what do I do for the 16 hours? Nothing. There is nothing you can do. You can't do it in the reverse direction because nobody is wanting electricity on that side at all because it's all parallel line. So you will have to spend 3 times that cost for the transmission alone. What we have done is basically if the renewable is there, then starting up to end of the, I think June or July, I don't remember exactly the month, in 2024, the transmission charges for the solar and wind renewable actually, but basically it belongs to solar and wind. They have been waived. Fair enough. So solar and wind is cheaper. But somebody has to pay because it's not a free lunch. The transmission capacity is there. So what we have done is that becomes transmission becomes the part of national grid, and rest of the people are paying for the transmission charges of solar and wind. So it is virtually, let's say that we are generating electricity, Adani is generating electricity in Rajasthan, being evacuated and giving it to Uttar Pradesh, but somebody in Tamil Nadu is going to pay 30 paisa more. इसका उससे कुछ संबंध ही नहीं है because it is loaded on the national. This will go away when that comes into the picture. So there are issues from the transmission in this part. Let's go to the fourth part. It is presently the cheapest, 2 rupees 40 paisa, 2 rupees 50 paisa in this one. What will happen is all of them went into stupid thing, and there was a time when Sekis, this one, they had given 1 rupee 90 paisa, 1 rupee 99 paisa by NTPC. Now they are crying. But well, that's a tender, so you have no choice but to accept that. So these are the issues that we will have to overcome in solar. Now let us take you to wind. In case of wind, it was in 2007-2008. Wind picked up like nobody's business. It went on till almost 2014-2015. The solar prices had not come. Solar prices started coming down to from 2015. To give specific example, Maharashtra has got one tender of 1000 megawatt of 2010, and the price which is quoted over there, which is via power purchase agreement, is 17 rupees 80 paisa. It's so costly at that time. So we were never wanting to. It started coming up after China came up in a large fashion, and the prices had come up. At that time, wind was ruling, and everybody was there. You'll be surprised to know. Do you know even the Aishwarya Rai have got 1 megawatt to this one, अभी ऐश्वर्या कभी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को देखती है मुझे भी पता नहीं, बट शी हैज 1 megawatt and which is a wind, and she sells it to distribution company. 1 megawatt. All celebrities. Yeah. So if Aishwarya is doing, why don't you can think of it? So Nitya at least you know electricity. You may not be knowing acting, but at least you know electricity. Hey, come back to wind. Now in wind, there is easterly wind and westerly wind. Easterly wind is basically Tamil Nadu, because you get those east coast is the easterly wind. That's why the season is also different. The season is different because their season starts November, December, January, February. And westerly wind like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, etc. We are fed by westerly wind. Our starts from uh, May, June, July, August. Maybe sometimes May, June, or June, July, August, September, but 4 months. And with that it ends. What is the problem in that? In these 4 months, out of the capacity that is being planned, 92% gets generated during these 4 months. And for the rest of the 8 months, virtually nothing. How do I feed that 24 by 7? Because your basic commitment is to that last night and you are 24 by 7. So what do you do with that? Is one part. The second, sorry, basically, so what has happened is you had to do for our states like what we had done. There is a National Wind Research Institute. You have to do the study for 1 or 2 years, fly balloons to wind velocity, so on and so forth. And then at the end of it, you decide which zone is going to. See, it is not when you go on the Juhu beach and बच्चा लेके घूमता है. That is not what wind speed is. Wind speeds are defined, and during that time we have it is minimum is there, maximum is there. During that zone it is done. And then only you are in a position to do wind. Earlier part what was happening is basically what was happening is we were not, across nation. I'm not trying to say it only for India. For across nation, what was happening is majority of them were less than 500 kilowatt and less than 1 megawatt. Initially, they were even 200 kilowatt, 300, smaller this one. But up to 1 megawatt. If you consider Maharashtra's composition, almost 60-65% as on today are less than 1 megawatt. Less than 1 megawatt. And then the rest are bigger ones. If the megawatt increases, you have to increase the mast height, which is instead of say about 50, 100, 50, 100 feet, you have to go to 200 feet, 250 feet, etc. So now a new policy has come whereby the windmills are old, they will be given some funding from the central government, and you will be in a position to go from at the same site, because the site won't change because it is a wind site. What you have to do is you have to increase the mast height, change to the newer wind blades and the turbine generators, etc., and put a generator over there and connect it to the grid. So then there another problem is combining them, and you have to aggregate them. If the electricity is low, you have a problem. Now what will you do? Because that's a low. The wattage is low, megawatts are low. So that's why connecting to the grid, the cost increase. So they do aggregation and do that. It did. Little sideways story. I heard of a company called Sudhilon. Suzlon used to be at that time private. They did a smart move, smart thing, which backfired on them. Rest is the history. I'll not go into that. What did happen is the sites were identified by that Wind Research Institute. So what they did, surreptitiously, they purchased those sites. So even if I want access Savili, he said, sir, the site Suzlon ka hai. We have to go to Suzlon. So Suzlon will say, I'll give that site, we'll have to buy my winter. Vertical integration. सब मेरे से ही लेने का. Unfortunately, that entire model collapsed because the solar came in. Rest is the history. I'll not go into this long story. At the end of it, at the end of it, 24 by 7, price wise it is good, and which is 2 rupees 50 paisa, and this has come to around 3 now. Will you be in a position to fulfill the need of that? The answer is no. So that's why then we go into the mitigating story. And that's why we what we call it as the storage technology. So what is storage? There are three things which are being talked about today. Storage. One is battery. Second one is hydrogen. Hydrogen, whatever I am seeing in the market, analyzers and things like that, I do not feel even by 2030 it is going to be. See, I'll give my own example. In 2010, I was very depressed by looking at 18 rupees. Up to 2015, same thing continued with me. That it was depressing for me. It was depressing for me. It was around 2016-17 when we started looking at Chinese prices. We were stunned, and that's why the change came in 2016-17. One part of it is not only the technology, but it is the large production quantums of China that reduce the prices, and the whole scene has become topsy-turvy. So, coming to the original part of it is 2 rupee 40 paisa, 3 rupees is good, no question about it. But it should be the part of the process. And then let's come to the these two things. So this one I am not feeling. Second part of it is battery storage. In case of battery storage, what is happening in majority of the battery, there are 3-4 manufacturers all over the world. One is called as CAT, which is from China. Samsung, which is from obviously South Korea. There is one, what is that French president's name? Mitterrand. There is one Mitterrand company from United States. They are not so competitive. There are 3-4 fellows who are the leaders in lithium oxide battery. In lithium oxide battery, there are other issues. What are the other issues? There are 5 basic components: lithium, nickel, copper, rare earth, and things like that, which are coming from Congo, South African country, Australia, something from China, and something from Argentina, Peru, Colombia. There are 3 pockets from which they come. Class situation is you take any one of them, 70% of the processing is with China. So they are tightening their nuts on us. Everybody. They are tightening. You are buying from CAT, no problem. Are you buying from Samsung? We will do. They are tightening. And in spite of that, what has happened is majority of the batteries, instead of coming to our sector, which is obviously like you, nearer to me, they are going to the cars. They are not, we are, क्या बोलेंगे, we are a stepchild. We are not a direct child of lithium. तो वो पूरी तरह से देखते हैं हमारे. Anyway, so with battery storage, let's look at what is the status. In Australia, Elon Musk has put 100 megawatt battery storage. They had given the price, but it's a 4-5-year-old price. I don't remember. In Tata, in Delhi, the total load is in the range of about 6,000 megawatt. Tata's load is around 1,800, 1,900 megawatt. They have put one battery storage. You know the load? 2 megawatt. 2 megawatt. Because we are all experimenting. क्या होगा पता नहीं हमको भी. So we are experimenting. If you have battery storage, so what is happening? Let's say that I am a factory. Okay. If I am a factory, then I put battery storage along with solar. When I put along with battery and a solar, I mean the battery storage along with the solar, only for 2 hours. 2 hours. That is solar for 8 hours and 2 hours battery storage. Even then, my gross cost is coming to 7 rupees 10 paisa. It is higher than what electricity board is saying. So I am not still shifting to that. And if you think of 24 hours and this fully down, 28 rupees, 30 rupees, बाप जन्म में परवड़ने वाला, बाप जन्म में परवड़ने वाला. Okay, so battery storage is also, it we will see what happens around 3 years down the line, 26, 27, unless until lithium oxide battery comes down, something happens. But the major problem is, consider car. If you consider buying a car, you can have a little say, if you are permitted. There are Model Y, Model 3, and Model S of Elon Musk car. Oldest is Model Y, not the Model 3. Model 3 is currently. Model Y is about 5 years old. What happens is, in an electric car, 50% to 55% of the car value comes from battery. And if the car is old, means I have to sell the battery. It is better not buy the car. Because changing so much, it's so second hand prices are dropping like nobody's business. Because if you have to change the battery, what will happen? Better not buy. Something similar is happening over here. It will take time, you have to watch and see. As compared to all this, what we call as pump storage is comparatively the one which is helping us. What is a pump storage? Pump storage is very simple. You have a dam at the top. You leave that water, create electricity. You have got a pondage at the bottom. And from solar, in the earlier part, we used to buy that power from the electricity board because at night you didn't want that power. So you buy it at cheaper rate. Now you buy solar power at 2 rupees 50 paisa and take that bottom pondage water up and you keep on circulating. Normally for balancing, they have a midway pondage also. So you have got a bottom, top and midway pondage and use this up to that. Try to realize 2 rupees 50 paisa से नीचे जाने का chance नहीं because 2 rupees 50 paisa is the way in which we are pumping the water up. That is the minimum cost that you are doing. But there is a major issue. What is the major thing in about that? In case of Koina, we are looking at Koina of giving 365 days of supply. In this, we are not at all looking at 365 days of supply. We are looking at 5-6 hours for maybe 3 days. So our water capacity comes down. That's why the rehabilitation issue is not there. We are taking this one to other places where rehabilitation issue is not there and we do not become sardars over there. Sakras. So what is going to change is maybe because at this moment of time the one which is on the horizon is from Renew Energy which is in Andhra Pradesh which is 1320 megawatt and it should get energized by somewhere in the January, February. Tata are coming up with two on this our, you might be knowing Kopoli and using that water they are coming up, even then they are but compared to battery storage, this if it picks up, it will be comparatively easy and we are not looking at storage. We are looking at 5 or 6 hours, but not 24 hours. 8 hours plus 6 hours, khatam. And only for 3-4 days. Suppose by 3 days your water gets over, khatam. Because we don't have that capacity. More the capacity, 365 days we need a point. We just don't do it. Having said mitigation, let's go to the last one. If you don't mind, I'll finish that last one.
Yes.
Let's go to the last one. Then ultimately, who is going to save me? How do I do this 24 by 7 with the minimum cost? I have no choice but to fall back on my coal. What happens to gas? Why not gas? Good. The question is good. But if Putin was my friend, I would have done it. But Putin is not my friend. So that's a problem for him because Putin is not my friend. Putin decides the prices with the help of Mohammed bin Salman, and he doesn't ask me. That's a problem for me because the price comes down, both of them decide 20% cut price per day. Okay. So today we have got 25. I'll use specific example when Andhra Pradesh in those days Chandrababu Naidu was there, and because of the reliance commitment of the GK Basin, you know, GK Basin was allocated initially. There were three sectors. One was allocated to the residential consumer. The next one was allocated to the fertilizer, and the third one was allocated to generation. I'm not going into the politics and all that sort of thing, but it's not worth it because अपने को कोई even नगर सेवक का भी टिकट देने वाले, so let us be away from that and let us stick to the technology. Whatever it is, the supply kept on falling. We requested the Ministry of Gas and this one that instead of doing a chopping entirely of electricity, you give proportionate to it. See, let's say 50, let's say the total was to be available 50, 10 for us. So from 50 to 40 it goes. So nothing for you. Instead of that, you chop something from something from fertilizer, something from gas. But ultimately they will not like to do it because the first part is obviously the residential consumer. That's the largest vote bank. Then will come fertilizer, that is agricultural vote bank. And तुम लोग को ना chill out. In Andhra Pradesh, 20,000 megawatt of gas base is shut down for last 6 years. And you just can't afford to import gas and generate. If you import gas and generate, the cost is as on this is about 1 month back because you know that LNG prices keeps on varying. It's like oil and gas. The prices are there is one formula. Whatever is the oil price, whatever is the heat content, you have to convert that heat content to the gas, and then the price is adjusted. The heat content of both is same on the price level. This is how that gas price is decided. First by oil, and then by the gas. Sorry. So coming back to the original part of it, I'm looking at last, I think, October, November price. I'm not knowing what happened at the end of November, December prices. It comes to 12 rupees. Can you afford 12? No chance. Look at our Uran. In Uran, we can generate 800 megawatt. How much we are generating? Only 128. Why? Because there is something called as APM gas. That means it's a subsidized gas given by the government. If the APM gas is not there, more. That is what happens to 12. So we are generating only 120. We are not generating more at all. So then we come to the thermal. When you come to the thermal, our biggest major problem is ourselves. Myself is not running away from it, is the pollution. What can be done to carbon capture, improve your efficiency? There are so many other issues that we have. I'll give two of the issues whereby you will get. See, one of the major things when we are running our thermal plant is there is something called as technical minimum. What is meant by technical minimum? If the generation capacity is 100, normally in the earlier era we used to generate 80 to 85% of the capacity because that is what was needed because this was going on from let's say right from independence, that is 1947. Now we don't need because when the when the solar comes, I don't need that electricity. So I have to bring it down. How much lower I can go? Can I make it zero? Let's say I make it zero. Good. Make it zero. Then the solar code starts generating. Good. After 8 hours, I leave it. Because what we call it as hot start. That means when the generation, even when the boiler is hot, and we have to start from finish, it will take between 6 to 8 hours to come to the full capacity. So you just can't have that. You just can't have that. So what happens is we take the thermal plant to 55% or 60% depending upon the design of that thermal plant. So what is happening? I am getting solar. I am doing solar plus I am having thermal also, which energy is not required, for which you are paying. You have to pay, because if I don't generate, the moment solar goes at 5, therefrom will I give the energy? Because I have one part of it, the technical minimum, and there is what we call it as ramp rate. What is meant by ramp rate? If it is on 55, if I have to take it to 65, how much time? It's a basically acceleration of a car. It's the ramp rate, there is nothing. Acceleration. Okay. How much time I will take? So from 65, if I have to go to 75, I take 2-3 hours. So I need ramp rate also. And if the ramp, and if I have to make all these changes, is it worth it or something? We will have to look at, because all this thing is necessary. But try to realize when we are bringing solar, when we are, there are other issues. If the amount of energy is not being evacuated, your frequency will shoot up and the grid will collapse. So what you have to do in on occasions, which also is a little tricky thing, Tamil Nadu shuts off the grid. We'll have to shut down somewhere. Just don't get that thing. Obviously, they don't get paid and they keep on shouting. There is nothing else to do. So, coming to the once again original part of it, that these are another part in thermal. If we need coal. The coal has three. The what matters in the thermal energy, what we call it as variable cost, is the landed cost of coal. Mind you, I am using the word landed cost of coal. It is not the cost of the coal. Cost of the coal, it is the landed cost of the coal. Let's say I am bringing from Madhya Pradesh, which is near Nagpur. We bring the coal. We are using Koradi Chandrapur, which is near to that. Then we are bringing to Eklare at Nasik. Our landed cost of coal at Chandrapur is 2800. Our landed cost of coal at Eklare is, instead of 2800, it is almost 3800, 3900. 1000 rupees increase cost of the electricity will increase. Variable cost will increase, obviously. So what matters in the landed cost of coal is three components. What is the cost of coal? Second, another part of it is what matters is the transportation cost. And the third part of it is the taxes. In addition to the taxes being imposed by the center, all the states are also imposing taxes. And as on today, one third is the cost of coal, one third is the transportation cost, and one third is the taxes. Another part trying to realize, this is being taught left, right, and center. You know, I had told you Robin Hood principle. What are we doing? Robbery. So, what railways are doing? They are using the same principle. Fertilizer and coal are two being transported by railways. They charge us whooping money to us. Subsidize your and his transport in the Dadar to Andheri. So, okay, वो बड़ा है, तुम्हारा बड़ा बढ़ेगा, तुम लोग चिल्लाओगे. There is nothing like freedom. Somebody has to pay. Who is that? In railway, you are getting cheaper one, not because of anything else, but we are getting high cost coal by transport and high cost fertilizer. Another part, what is happening? Coal beds are in the northern part, like desert, Bihar, and that pocket. Over there, there are a lot of mafias, Bahubalis. Bahubali. I have lost that photograph. It was a long time back. You know, people, what they do, they steal coal, and on the cycle, on the both sides, the sacks are there, and then they carry coal, to the center to a transporter. And that photograph showed 500 cycles in a row carrying coal. Not one, 500 cycles. Total पागलपन है. You know, because of this rat hole, this one. Go to Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram, etc. Still, that continues over there because that's the only source of living for them. Let Supreme Court do anything because some two Supreme Court judges versus 10,000 people over there, how they will survive? They don't bother. Even the chief minister is in league with them. They will not survive. They will not be because other than the coal and this one, there is no other available source for them. So what happens is, since that coal is not sufficient, what is happening? We are saying, government of India is saying, import coal. Good, import coal and generate. Achieve. Let's look at what happens to the cost. If you have a coal of from our Indian origin, it is in calorific value inferior. Myself is accepting. I am not at all saying it correctly. It is about 2,800 to 3,200 kilocalories per kilogram. Is the take it 3,200 fast. Whereas if you have got good mines in Indonesia, good mines in Australia we are not going because the transportation increases. Because Indonesia is closer to us and not Australia. The transportation. Their poles are 6,000. 6,000. It means a hell of a lot of data. That can use only for blending. That can use for blending. But it cannot be used 100%. Yes, you are blended. What about the cost? Pay for it. Pay for it. And due to simple example, you will be able to appreciate that and use it. It was in 2010, 11, 12. Maharashtra had a tremendous load shedding. We did one zero load shedding experiment. In case of zero load shedding at that time, some of you may be aware, may not be aware. Thane, Navi Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, and Nasik, not Nasik, Aurangabad. We told them everybody had a shortage of about 10 percentage point and high cost power is available. Are you prepared to pay more? There was a public hearing, the legal process. We did, because I was part of that process as well. In Mumbai, we charged 34 paisa. Aurangabad had a higher losses, so it was 58 or 60 paisa. I don't remember exactly, but it was in 30 to 60 paisa. Can you imagine? All of these cities said, give us zero load shedding, we will pay 30 to 60 paisa for the whole of the year. Because if we had charged them in 1 month, they would have killed us. So we distributed them over a period of 30 paisa. समझ में नहीं आता है. This is one part. Mumbai had a problem. We were having a problem, and we at that moment, this is about 2005, 2006 story. So at that time, regulatory commissions, two opponents. One of them was me, one was Praya. Then utility fellows were there. We were fighting among ourselves. Then regulatory commission called six of us, and they said, "तुम छह लोग इधर बैठो और एक कमरे में बंद हो, चाबी खो दे. Jab tak you don't come out with a single rate, all six of you will not allow." We fought for 3 hours. Somebody said ₹1.5. तो पागल है क्या? ₹3 से ₹4.5 कौन देगा? Okay. Ultimately, we came out with some 40 or 50 paisa. But we made a good decision at that time. It was not as bad as load shedding what happened was that. At that time, we said, we are in the month of April. Let's say we are in the month of April 24. So whatever was your April 23 consumption, for that, we will give you that old rate. But whatever is more than that, we will charge you 60 paisa. We thought that we are done a great job. That is what I thought. Mind you, whole of Bombay has got so much of money. All of them paid, not a single charge reduced the consumption. This is my pet example. Bombay is a money city. So in the month of January, which is not a mango season, some mangoes come which are available for 3,000 rupees a dozen, which tastes not like a mango but like a papaya. But people say, मैंने आज mango खाया 3,000 रुपए डजन से ले. They have money because they have money. Okay. Coming to the original part of it, we have no choice up to 2030 but to take our support from coal. What would happen beyond 2030? I do not have a vision beyond 7 years. But I do not feel that we will be in a position to come out of coal up to 2030. We are increasing our coal capacity up to 2030 by 80,000 megawatt. There is another problem to that. That also you must keep it in mind. See, in our example, I repeatedly give two, I give two examples and then go. One part of it is electricity boards across nation. There are four cities: Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, and Ahmedabad and Surat come together. Other than these four cities, now I am taking Odisha out because it is nearly new. Other than these four, across nation, the distribution of electricity with the electricity board controlled by the state government and by that part. 100%. So we will never be in a position to go out of the vote bank politics that every party A plays, party B plays, C plays, everybody is going to play that. So you have to accept that and still take it ahead. What happens because of that? What happens because of that? Is the outstanding of the distribution company shoot up like anybody. Let's say this figure is month of September figure. I don't have October figure. Our turnover of NHBC is 90,000 crores. You know they're outstanding 72,000 crores. If this was a private company, some of the MDs and the IS officers, उनको मल्लिया ही होना पड़ता था, वो भाग जाना ही पड़ता था. 90,000 में 72,000 is outstanding. Will the bank allow him to stay there? वो भाग जाते थे. It's impossible. Now let's come to the composition of 72. 42,000 agriculture. No party has got guts to disconnect any agriculture. Consider about 1.5 years back. Kolhapur people created a ruckus. Pune Bangalore road was closed for 3 days by 1,000 people sitting on the road. 1,000 people sitting on the road by rotation. What do? Succumb. What will you do? National highway is closed. What will you do?
Medical vegetable supply was also closed.
Yeah, everybody. See, any supply. Why you are talking about milk? Food is not there, transport, everything is getting affected. So 42,000. Then let's go to the second part. We are giving electricity to municipal corporations, gram panchayats and other functions for two reasons. One, water. Second is the street light. Do I have the guts to shut down the street light at night? I cannot face any of the women. अंधेरे में क्या करोगे? It will become a law and order. So I cannot shut down. But even if they don't pay, you just can't shut them down. Another is water. Same thing. So then what is the amount over there? 12,000. So even if they don't pay, you keep on supplying. So now we have come to 54. Then let's look at the government. Hospitals, Commissioner of Police, Director General of Police, hospitals, crematorium, consider all of them. Airports, railway stations, 6,000. So out of 72,000, almost 65,000 is coming from this other people where they just cannot do anything unless and until there is a change in the philosophy. Even if they say, let us have prepaid meter, my request to them is, sir, yes, let us have a prepaid meter for Bombay High Court, Commissioner of Police and Collector of Bombay first, then you put it on. तुम उनको दे दो ना, बस मुझे भी दे दो, तो उनको पहले दे दो. It becomes a problem. And little bit away and then probably that has closed. In Uttar Pradesh, they have put smart meter. In case of smart meter, if you don't pay, you can remotely disconnect. So what did happen is, it's a 1.5 year back, some stupid fellow who does not understand anything from Lucknow Central Control, he said he put for 1,10,000 consumers not paid and they got disconnected. And they were not in the one area, they were segregated. Somebody in Andheri, somebody in, let's say, Goregaon, somebody in Borivali, somebody in Latur. So in the initial stage, they couldn't follow what is happening for 2 3 hours. What has happened? If you have got concentrated, you know that this substation has gone wrong or transformer has gone wrong or something like that. But if it is segregated, you can. After 3 hours or 4 hours, they start. Then they realize there's a wrong command given from the Lucknow. Then they started rectifying. So rectification from the supply disconnection took from 6 hours to 48 hours. Somebody was in darkness for no fault of it for 2 days. Okay. Regulatory Commission took the note of it and they imposed a fine. And they said for all these 1,10,000 consumers, you must pay them 100 rupees as a compensation in their bill. The Lucknow fellows got annoyed. They said that sir, we have formed a group and chief minister, director, secretary power, director of electricity board. We are going to give them 500 rupees each from our pocket. Only thing they have to be in the darkness for 48 hours like us. So क्या 500 रुपए देने वाले हैं. Anyway, long and short of it is, in this whole scenario, renewable energy definitely forms a part of it. But do not leave the sight of the main thing. At the end of it, it is that consumer who we have to give 24 by 7 supply and at affordable cost. I rest, as we say in the law, I rest my case over here. If you have any questions, please. You got 5 minutes. I'll look at my phone. Take that 5 minutes.
So, any questions?
Anyone wants to ask any question?
That it was a holy war item after the sleeping. It was our opening. It was our opening. You are awake.
So, I have a question. If you mentioned something about anti-dumping duty, what is that exactly?
See, what happens is you have got a normal. See, you have got normal customs duty, namesake and thing. Let's say that import of equipment. It is 10%. Okay. What happens is in some countries they cross subsidize industry, and since they cross subsidize industry, if the market price over generally is 100, it is being offered because of their government support at 80 rupees. So it comes to you at 80 rupees. So what would happen is with this 10%, your industry will get killed. So that's why to take care of that, there are WTO guidelines that the survey done, and then they adjust anti-dumping duty such that your Indian price and imported price plus this duty is equalized. It's called as an anti-dumping.
Actually, one more general question. Like, suppose a consumer is having a solar
Rooftop.
rooftop. So, after all this discussion, will it be really beneficial for him?
Yes. See, there are two parts to that. In case of solar, there are two methods. One part of it is called as net metering. The net metering is available to residential consumers as well as industry and commerce up to 1,000 megawatt, and less. It depends upon the state. In case of Gujarat, it is not available less than 100 kilowatt. In I think Tamil Nadu, we are talking about 50 kilowatt. So state by state it varies, but in Maharashtra, we have put the limit at 1 megawatt up to we touch about 4,000 megawatt in the rooftop. So one part of it is in case of net metering. One of the thing in net metering is you have got import and you have got export. So what happens is, let's say that you have consumed 100. Second part of it is you have generated 8. So you will be charged for only 20. Okay. So once you are charged for 20, two parts of the you will be charged for 20, but try to realize on that there is a tax. So your tax is also saved because you will be paying tax only on 20 and not on 100. So your tax component also goes down. This is one part. But there are other issues. One part of it is, do you have enough capacity to generate, because it will be at the site. It cannot that I generate electricity at namesake I'm saying at Sardar Patel College and I use it at Shivaji, but it's not allowed. It will have to be on mine. So in areas like Mumbai, except for the cluster development, large number of buildings, individual building it has not occurred to that extent because the amount of area that you have got is only on the roof, and once you put it on the roof, permanently your terrace goes for a toss. You cannot have any function on the terrace. So it is gone forever. So for saving that, this is what happens. Whereas once you get out of the congested city, maybe Pune, Nashik, anybody, this has started happening, but this is what it is. But net metering have picked up in a little bigger way in respect of commerce and industry. Because try to realize one part that, as you very well know, our Robin Hood method, our industry tariff is 9, our commerce tariff is 12 to 13. So over there, our saving is very large. Whereas if we are residential consumer, if less than 300, it is 5. After doing all this झमेला, 5 रुपए से कोई ज़्यादा मिलता नहीं.
So you mean to say for consumer,
High consumption consumer. No, no. If you are, let's say that you have got a large Bangalore where your load is say 30 kilowatt, then it is worth it. But all of us are having loads of 4 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, 6 kilowatt. Not much gets or
so the rate is already
it is a subsidized. Less than 300 is a subsidized. Anything less than 7 is subsidized. Yeah.
So another question, sir, is there any government policy for non-profitable organizations like school, college, to power consumption or in power consumption?
No. There will be a see in case of NGOs. I don't remember exact because in the tariff order there are too many heads. So look up your tariff order and it will be for NGOs. It will not be in the industrial or commercial rate, but it will not be in the subsidized rate. It will be little higher than the average cost of power. Yeah.
Sir, my question is, as you mentioned that a lot of debt is there for getting this money back to the industry, and because of this, probably electrical industry may die after some time if you do not recover the money
I'm
from the
talking not
customers.
industry, I'm talking about distribution company. This money is owed to the distribution company like MSCDCA or Tamil Nadu Electricity Board or anybody. That industry will never die because it is controlled by the state government and they will see to it that it survives and gives you electricity. You don't have to bother for coming free generation. Don't bother about it.
That is not
Because it is the politics. It's just the politics. Not it is if the state goes into darkness, next day that chief minister will not be there. तो उसकी कुर्सी का सवाल है, तुम्हारा सवाल नहीं.
The smart meters, from when the smart meters will be applicable?
See, in case of smart, there is a very tricky thing. In case of smart, try to realize difference between the earlier meter and a smart meter. In the earlier meters, we were having about 6 or 7 parameters: voltage, harmonic, power factor, so on and so forth. And for a period of maybe 30 days or 60 days, depending upon the number of parameters. The smart meter also has the same parameters. The difference between the old parameter and the old meter and the smart meter is that in the old meter, we used to send the meter reader take either a handheld, this one with connection or without connection, and the data was downloaded in the computer. In case of smart meter, this data transmission to the control center is direct. This is the only difference. That means There is no change in the parameter accuracy between the old meter and the new meter. So this is one part. Now let us go to the second part. What is the second part? Second part of it is, since it gets directly, you can be disconnected from remote. Okay. There are tricky issues. I mean, though I have written it in 3 times, people keep on asking where. This is a very peculiar thing. This is how we behave. This is what happens. In Maharashtra, we have got 4 distribution companies. In majority of the state, it is only one. Other than the state discom, there is nobody else. We have got Tata's, Adani, BST, and MSCDC. BST is virtually like a government because it belongs to the municipal corporation. So Tata and Adani approach regulatory commission, and they got smart meter control. Why don't you say probably right? Smart. They got smart meter capital expenditure approved, and they are taking the money for the smart meter from financial institutions and not from government. Rest of the electricity board fellows, I have gone to REC and PSC, Renewable Energy Corporation and Power Finance Corporation for this one. In REC PFC, the condition, first part of it is you improve your infrastructure. The second condition is if you want money for the infrastructure, you have to put smart meter. If you have to put the smart meter, the third condition is it must be what we call it prepaid meter. Okay, so this condition is only for REC PFC money coming in. This is one part. Now let's look at what is going on in Maharashtra. Consider our 3 crore consumer. Do you think 3 crore consumer जादू से कल से आ जाएगा? What is your best guess? 3 years? Even if you want to do 1 crore for one with a Himalayan tap, 3 crore is 3 years. So what is going to happen? At the end of 3 years, all of them are going to smart meter. Because that many meters also should be available. It should be, you have to go to that site, change it. It's a long way. One part. Second part of it is, let's say I'm a consumer of BST. Then across my road, he is a consumer of Adani because it changes. So since BST has taken the money from the REC BST, I am prepaid compulsory. And he is Adani, he can choose on it. This sort of discrimination is not allowed. This discrimination is not allowed. We go to the third part. This condition, I don't want to use, I can fully, get out. Somebody sitting in Delhi thinks that across nation we can put prepaid meter. पागल है क्या? Do you know what is happening in Arunachal Pradesh? Let us say Trichy and simultaneously Jabalpur. You just don't understand. Class situation is the scenarios across nations are so different that thinking of a policy by sitting in Delhi is sheer stupidity. This they have come, and let me assure you one thing: this will not work. They will say it is your choice and nobody will. Because there are other issues which I will tell you and then probably do that. If we ourselves have tried that in 2007, 2008, I really don't remember. Around that time, we have got Ganpati Utsav in Maharashtra. So for Ganpati Utsav, we insisted for BST that you must have prepaid meter. And they said yes, we 2007, 2008, prepaid meters were put for the Ganesh Utsav. Those fellows who are from the Ganesh Utsav, they were so, what should I say, they were so callous. 8 o'clock in the evening, when the traffic is full, the money got over and it was total darkness in the paddock. You can imagine 1,000 people in a paddock and darkness. It became a law and order situation. Fortunately, people got jabbed. Fortunately, there were no deaths. And in one shot, we reversed that because the opposite man, if he is not smart enough and he doesn't do it, there will be a law and order situation in Ganpati. So, you think Think of Lalbagh Ganpati, 10,000 people, no electricity. What would happen? And it is not because of the GST. It is because of the Ganpati Utsav. It is, see, look at your mobile. Good number of you have got prepaid. And you have got postpaid, but it is your choice. It is not, let's say, Vodafone or Airtel कि नहीं prepaid नहीं है तो नहीं देगा. ऐसा नहीं कोई बोलता है. It is your choice. At the end of it, who is important is the consumer, not the government, not the electricity board, not somebody sitting in there. I think you got the answer.
Any other question?
Yeah.
Sir, you talked about usage of coal. Usage of coal is inevitable till 2030, right? And you also talked about landed cost of coal, transportation cost, and all. So my question to you is, I mean, what are the government policies in arresting the net cost of the coal, and how much successful government is in implementing and executing those
See,
policies?
so as I said, three things are there. One is the transport cost. Second one is the taxes, and the third one is the cost of the coal. Cost of the coal is decided by the Coal India. We are trying to pressurize it. If we pressurize railways, I do not think central government is in a mood to accept that, because what is going to happen is the cost of the common passengers will shoot up. Because it's the cost subsidy. Same principle, Robin Hood. So you are robbing, paying. Okay. Third part of it is the taxes. Taxes is the center and state subject. So even if center does it, if the state doesn't do, what we do? Let's consider, for example, namesake in GST, there are three items: petrol, alcohol, and electricity. It is left to the state. Taxes in Maharashtra on petroleum and diesel is in the range of 45 to 48%. In Delhi, it is 6. Ask Maharashtra to reduce 45%. Decide करता है, पैसा कहाँ से को बताओ. Delhi is a small state. We have a large state. 45% इतना पैसा मिल रहा है, आएगा कहाँ से? So, question is, when you say that reduce, the next question should be from your side. Whom should I rob and give it to you?
We compensate.
Somebody has to be compensated. Now there is nothing like free lunch. Whom should I rob? You tell me. उसको रॉब करेगा, वो जिलाएगा.
Sir, my question is regarding challenges for RE integration, more and more large scale RE integration. There must be two aspects: technological and commercial. Even today, we know that RE generation should be compulsorily evacuated and distributed. When we see the scheduling of from this distribution company, uh, they get hydro at lower cost and coal at higher cost. So they give zero schedule to thermal plants, and they force us to use more hydro from Koina. And we know that Koina has some water utilization restriction, 62.7 something. Now this year there is shortage of due to less rain. Again, that is curtailed. So this is the commercial aspect, because RE is intermittent. They can't rely on that in increasing demand. Demand is increasing daily 2000 liter in Maharashtra. So this is a commercial aspect. The technical aspect is in RE integration. We know that system stability and all that issues are coming due to reducing inertia in the system. Because of increase in RE and decreasing in thermal, there will be issues in future regarding reduced inertia. So how this will be optimized?
See, the first part is your first your concept that we are not giving schedule to thermal and taking hydro is incorrect. This is one part. What we are doing in Koina, because of the water usage, and we ourselves know. See, one of the basic thing is thermal ramping up and minimum during which we cannot do anything. Whereas in respect of hydro, we can bring in the full capacity in 10 to 12 years. So only for peak loading, we are using Koina. So it is not at all correct that we are taking hydro and we are not giving schedule to thermal. One part. Now let us go to the second part. Let's look at basic answer here. Total amount of energy, amount of thermal that we have is in the range of 75,000 from IPP and 60, 65. So let's say 130 plus. So this about 140 megawatt, 150 megawatt is that from thermal. Grossly, what I'm trying to say, our thermal is about 50-55%. I'm talking about installed capacity. And same is with about 2 lakh in renewable. But the contribution of RE for this one is 12 to 30% and that of thermal is 75%. Because we have no choice when this fails, the only answer for us is to balance it via thermal and ultimately there is nothing left for us. There is nothing left for us.
So by 2030, power generation by only RE is
Not possible. Not possible. See, we are trying to say that from 75, this is from Delhi, because don't go to the Delhi, because the electricity is a concurrent subject between state and center. Somebody talking on behalf of Kerala and Delhi is stupid. We are doing it. Don't go into that. Because what Kerala should do, we cannot decide in Delhi because Kerala is a different government. It's a communist government. वो खुद का जो करने करेंगे नहीं देना तो नहीं करो क्या करना है आप करो तुम क्यों मुझे सिखाता है okay this is what the article do and coming back to the original part of it the statement that has been made that saying we just gets your unity we want to bring thermal from 75 to 50% by 2030. I have really no answer because 7 years is a quite a large period. How the technology and other things will make a change, it is too large. As I said, from 2017 to 2020, we will come to solar by 1 rupee 99 paisa. When in 2010 we were on 18, we came to 199. I had not imagined. I had not imagined. I had faith. And I said, I had faith. Because in 2010, our 18 rupees, we came to 1 rupee 99 paisa in 2017. Example, how the thing will move. Because there are issues like, for example, because of Putin, prices shot up like anything. Nobody had thought of putting into it. Shut up. So so many factors will come into the picture. It is just not technology. It's technology, it is the environment, it is the paying capacity. So many things here.
social economics
Social
issues in
economy.
the
It can very well happen that somebody from Latur become this one and they say कि 12 रुपए देगा. ठीक है अच्छा तो अभी start talking Latur.
Sir, in line with your talk about the installed capacity and actual penetration, even though we achieve the target of 500 gigawatt by 2030, what will be the actual penetration of RE?
See, this is another part. I lost that example. Consider Germany. Germany has 25% of their energy. I'm not talking about installed capacity. Energy coming from wind.
Actual
Okay.
penetration.
In 21, no, not 20, 22 last year. In 22, their season failed. Season failed miserably. And instead of 25%, they generated only 19%. So 6 percentage point fall was there. What can you do with the nature? You can't do anything. The wind speed has gone down. What can you do with what Germany will do? 6%. What did they do? Same thing. Nobody is talking about Germany. We are the bad boy. So इसको ही मार देगा या अपने को ही चाइना को ही मार देगा. What did they do? They started doing that electricity via lignite. They are using lignite. Nobody talks about it. If you use coal, they are talking about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sir, in Mumbai also, the Dahanu thermal power plant and Trombit thermal power plant.
Which one? Dahanu and
Dahanu and Trombit.
thermal power plants units are getting older and they are not getting further expansion or extension goals. Then what will be the situation?
Nothing will happen. The reason is very simple. Dahanu, see, try to realize when Dahanu came in 92. Look at from there. It came much earlier to that also. So situations have changed. What has happened is let's consider namesake I'm saying Chembur. Now Chembur being very much in the city, one of the basic thing is the pollution control norms are the toughest. They are more tougher than for the any plant. They are tougher. To give you for example, particulate matter. Namesake particulate matter the figure is 120 for SR. For the Chembur is 72. So what will you so you will have to keep on increasing the price because you will require additional equipment. So theoretically, what is happening in case of Chembur, there are only two mines in Australia and one in Indonesia. Therefrom, you are getting a coal with lower sulfur, lower ash content, and 6,000 kilocalories. They are also smart. They do this. India पैसा मिले मत ले लो because we cannot buy from somebody else. So that's why the cost of generation at Chembur is very high. Same thing is happening with Dahanu because Dahanu they are trying. I think Adani that come up where they Gujarat. So let's see what will happen. So let's restrict for the timing to Chembur. The cost is very high. It is in the range of 70. It's very high. So the class equation is you will bring power from outside at a cheaper rate. Let's have power from Bhutan, no problem. On via transmission. Because for your information, we are buying 800 megawatt from Bhutan. We will need a let's take some more power from Bhutan. So what the answer for Mumbai is bringing in more from power from outside, which is cheaper, so that Mumbai people will survive. But Mumbai people are I don't know. I'm from Bombay government product. My education is that part. Okay. हम बहुत पैसे वाले हैं हम किसी सोचते नहीं
But even the life of plant is also very low.
you can do refurbishment. You can extend that plant. Plant 8 is about 60 years old. Plant 5 is little older, but we can't do anything. We are trying to release more power from outside. But plant 8 and then we have got hydro. We have got about 530 megawatt hydro. I hope you enjoy. And
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us, making us understand and appreciate consumer perspective. Your talk helped us to understand the Indian power sector better, challenges and mitigation of integrating the renewable, bulk evacuation of renewable, supply chain related issues, and challenges of operating the power system with the renewable, high penetration of renewable. Thanks a lot, sir. So now I request Dr. Pimple to give a token of appreciation to our guest. So this token of appreciation is a preamble from the Constitution of India, which is very much dear and close to heart of every Indian. I request Professor Vishal Dave sir to deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, I really enjoyed that, sir, because as I thought about the renewable energy and they have given some more perception about different energy, what is the impact of other sources and the integration of all the energies. So overall, what will happen after 2030? That's means really eye-opening for all of us.
and so it's really insightful thought. Let me finish my formality of vote of thanks. I'd like to thanks uh, the head of the institute, Dr. M. Moldy sir, then Dean R&D, Dean Academics, HOD Electrical Engineering Department, Dr. Sangeeta Daingari. Our today's, I'd like to give thanks to our coordinator, Dr. Swati Lawal ma'am, and co-coordinator, Dr. Bibi Pimple sir. Then our all the professors of the electrical department, supporting staff. I'd like to special thanks our supporting staff, Vinod Kambe, and then Sheila, because they have given a lot of time as well as their effort. And last but not the least, our ISA committee members, all the students from the ISA, they have given a valuable time in their exam period in preparation also. So thank you all of you. And not last but not the least, our today's participant. Because without you, the program is this scenario cannot be over. So thank you all of you. Thank you so much. Yes, there is one instruction. We'll go for lunch. The coupons are available outside this. Okay. So please collect the coupon. The lunch is scheduled in the venue is SPIT. Sorry, SPTN is.
All of you requested to move ahead towards the base and quickly because the students will come around 12:40 तर आपल्याला जरा लवकर गेलं तर yes, गर्दी फार होणार नाही. SP JS next plus